Hello, my people. It is your host, and welcome to my show again. We are still on the trending matter that has really kept the whole of the World Wide Web agog throughout the past couple of hours. Let's say for the past 24 hours, there has been a massive row, massive uh, talk on the internet, and there's so much going on the international news media, and everything is just crazy. And the one that is most important to us today is the discourse around the passing of our immediate past president, President Muhammadu Buhari, of blessed memory. You can see now is blessed memory. So what is at stake now is not only about the death, now it is about the legacy. He has been buried in his hometown of Dara, according to Muslim rite. Every known the political spectrum, across the political spectrum in Nigeria, the who is who in the northern hemisphere, and perhaps those who are Muslim, were all in attendance. So that has been done. And of course, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the government has declared tomorrow as a public holiday to allow all Nigerians, those who have one reason or the other, to feel the impact of his passing, to mourn him. Yes, as I said yesterday, yes, most people in the north will want to do that, but I don't think there will be so much of his, impact about his passing in the south. Neither would that be in the east. Maybe partly in the west, because there are a couple of Muslims in the western part of Nigeria. So that said, now we are talking about the legacy of Muhammadu Buhari. You can see now, not soon after not quite an hour that the news broke, you saw on the internet how people were reacting. The reaction of people was so massive, and I believe it was not just birthed out of hatred, but some out of sincere concern about the person of Muhammadu Buhari, especially those who were around him. Yes, I was able to watch the news media. I saw the SAN, Abubakar Malami, and the personal aide, Femi Adesina, who spoke well of him, and a host of other people. The former president, Obasanjo, gave his own eulogy and condolences to the family, and pray for him that God forgive him what he has meant for Nigeria. So, and of course, a lot of messages were pouring in from across the spectrum. Yes, but most importantly, the reaction of the northern people were mixed in his form. The northern Muslims were all, the reaction was mixed. You saw part of it, especially the youth. They were dancing and rejoicing, and it was more celebration amongst the youth population in the north. So let's say Muhammad Buhari was such a polarizing figure. It was such a controversial figure, and what he meant to so many people is based on his closeness to them. To many, he was not someone that they can say had impact on their lives. So that is what legacy is all about. What legacy will you leave as a leader is more important than your very present as a leader when you are at that time working, when you are you are functional as an individual, you are strong, you are working, and perhaps serving, and you don't know whether or not people are watching. So a lot of people are watching. This sounds a great warning and a great lesson to as many people as possible, people that are conscionable, people that are aware meaning. The passing of Muhammadu Buhari as a former president is a food for thought. So many leaders, especially to those who are still at the helm of affairs, both present and those who are, of course, past. So this is going to sound a whole lot of retrospective and introspective lesson to even the past president. Someone like the like of Obasanjo, Abdulsalami Abubakar, and of course the Maradona of all the president, in the person of what is his name now? The one that is in Mina. You all know him. So it's a big lesson that all these past presidents, even Gowon, are going to learn. So Babangida, as a person, the most cruel president amongst the past head of state, is also going to have his own take of what might be his own fate once he's gone. Because it's not when you are alive that people will talk, once the person is gone. Now Muhammadu Buhari is gone, and the legacy is such that a lot of people have different take. Those who had a personal impact on negatively, they are pouring in their very massive take as far as evaluating his legacy is concerned. I saw many who were just telling the world that he was a tyrant. He was someone that during his time he was not conscionable. He was not a man that one could depend upon. He was so iron-fisted. He was so tough, and he never listened to people. He was so hardened. That was the take of some people, and some who were around him, those inner circle who benefited from him, had so much to say. And I call those people the 10%. What can 10% do out of 100%? If 10% eulogize you and speak good of you, and say all manner of good things about you when you are gone, then the person is a failure. What about the 90%? And so many who he had so bad, impression on their lives. Think about it. People in the north, many, especially the youth population, that would have been so saddened by his passing. Yet there are those who are going around, they are chanting, they are celebrating, and they are just in a rejoicing mood because of the passing of the president. This is not supposed to be so. Yes, that is what has happened, because Muhammadu Buhari was such a polarizing figure, was such a controversial figure. He had so many things he left behind that history was going to judge him by. In his time, we had an avalanche of insecurity that came on the country, and we are still battling with it. Boko Haram was amplified. We had the ISWAP came in because he was the one that invited him. If he never won the election, how there was going to be a bloodbath. And after that, the herdsmen came, and the herdsmen have been ravaging Nigeria up until now. They are still there. During his time, economic downturn, inflation came on board. During his time, so many catastrophes happened to Nigeria. The legacy of Muhammad Buhari is one that history will remember him as a failed president. And I don't care what anyone thinks. My own personal take is that any leader that has an opportunity to serve, you must serve well while you are still able to do so. When you have the opportunity to do so, I think Muhammadu Buhari had the opportunity to to do so after he was once a military head of state and had an opportunity to become a two-time democratically elected president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He had the opportunity to really impact Nigeria positive, but unfortunately he failed. So that is why there is so much reaction that is so disgusting, so many reaction that is very awkward and is very spoken of as far as a past president is concerned. I want you to all put your own personal take as far as you are concerned. For me, did he, from the ratio of 1 to 10, how many do you think that Muhammadu Buhari scored in the ratio of 1 to 10? 1 to 10, how much do you think Buhari scored? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I want to score Muhammadu Buhari on your own personal assessment. To me, this man didn't score up to 40% as far as his tenure was concerned. He didn't perform really well because he had all the opportunity to make the massive impact on Nigerian political landscape, but he failed to do justice. As a past military head of state, that everyone would have thought would have, both the military and of course the civilian aspect both put together to be able to balance the equation and then govern Nigeria in a way that everybody will be put on led and checkmated. But he never did that. It was in time that corruption really had its biggest free for all, and unlike the same Jonathan era where there's so much scandal and corruption, we thought when he came on board he was going to sanitize and put things in order. It was in his time that so many things were just going unchecked and nothing was really in order. And yes, he handed over to the next president. Yeah, that could be the only legacy that I would say he left behind. He was able to hand over to another elected president in an election that was marred by rigging, an election that was marred by massive irregularity that was attested to by both national and international observers. So there is nothing that you are going to talk about Muhammadu Buhari that is going to be one that has a real, positive side. Yeah, there will be people that will argue it and say, well, Muhammadu Buhari did that, he did so, did that, but is it on the side of the judiciary? He wasn't listening to the judiciary. He was a man that was so hardened. He never obeyed court order. Of course, that is the legacy and the antecedents of all the presidents that have been. They do not listen to any court order. They are the Alpha and Omega. They are the executive, they are the legislature, they are the judiciary at the same time. So he never really cared. He did what he felt was good for the country, and most of all those things he felt was good were really bad. And I think you have your own personal take on the legacy, and that is what every Nigerian is going to be talking about going forward in these coming days. And it's so shocking to know that the Northerners who would have been celebrating him and been mourning him, they are all in the street dancing and chanting and rejoicing and celebrating his passing. That is a tragedy. So I don't have much to say. You already have it. You already know what it's all about. So please write on the comment section what you think the legacy of Muhammadu Buhari is to you. Yes, in the ratio of 1 to 10, I want you to put your own personal take. This is what you think he scored so and so. But to me, he really did not do well. He was a very failed president who had an opportunity to really better the lots of Nigerians. So get me your take and let's get the conversation going. And don't forget, subscribe to this channel and then do well by also sharing this video. Let all of your friends, your family members be part of this show and this channel. God bless you, and I see you in my next video. Peace.